Good morning. Happy Thanksgiving weekend, everybody. We are rocking and rolling on law number 4 in the 15 Invaluable Laws of Growth. All right, we will, good morning, Sally. Good morning, everybody. I hope everyone had a good Thanksgiving. How is everyone this weekend? Who's decorating for Christmas this weekend? We got a tree yesterday. Tree is up. Done. Success. Good morning, Mary. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Dodie. Dolly. We've got people texting me wanting to know if I am on. Yes, I am here. I am here. Rachel, Dodie, hello everyone. Millie, good morning. All right, we're going to start our audio. Okay, so I hope everyone had a wonderful Thanksgiving weekend. We're just going to jump right in this morning. For those of you that are new to the Coffee Chat Show, the Coffee Chat Show is now, we've been around for, since 2016. So I've been doing this show for lots of years, a live Facebook show. Good morning, Kirsten. Kirsten is live with us from Palm Springs. All right, so Coffee Chat Show is now, we are working through books that we choose. I have chosen all the books for 2023. So if you are, interested in following along with us throughout the year, I suggest that you join our newsletter. So if you go to thecoffeechatshow.com, again, thecoffeechatshow.com, you go there and you join our newsletter list, you'll get the calendar, plus you'll get the list of books. So right now we are working on John Maxwell's The 15 Invaluable Laws of Growth, which you can pick up on Amazon. We are on law number 4. This will take us into January. And then we will start on Atomic Habits, and that's the book that we will be working through in January and February. So we are on law number 4. So if you are just joining us, you haven't missed that many. You can go back and watch the ones that you missed. You can catch them on thecoffeechatshow.com. If you go there, it will lead you to our audio and all of our videos on YouTube, and they are also up on the Facebook page. As you can see this morning, this is a demonstration in showing up no matter what. I am seemingly a little under the weather. However, I did not want to disappoint, so here we are. So excuse my coughing and sniveling. Okay. Dolly says her friend is trying to get on. If anyone's trying to join and wants to watch the show live, you have to have them go into their Facebook, and then they need to search the Working Warrior Mom page. And then from the page, they should be able to click on us live. It is a link that shows up on the page itself, but you have to be subscribed to Facebook to watch us actually live. You can catch the video later on. So number 4 is the law of reflection, right? You'll remember that the first law of growth was a law of intentionality. Then we had, so the law of intentionality is you need to be intentional about your growth. Growth just doesn't happen. It doesn't just fall on your head like, ooh, here comes growth. It doesn't work like that. The law of awareness is the second law, right? You have to know yourself to grow yourself. The law of the mirror was what we covered last week. And I'm trying to think of his pithy little sentence about the law of the mirror. You have to see value in yourself to add value in yourself. So let's talk about that for just a second. So going back to the law of the mirror, you have to believe that you have value in order to add value to yourself. So in the law of the mirror, there's a list. There's an opportunity, and we gave this. We gave you this opportunity last week and said, join us in making a list of 100 things that are positive about you, 100 traits that you have. 100 personality traits, 100 things that you like about yourself, 100 positive things about you. I did my list. John Maxwell suggests that you actually read that list every day, which I confess I have not been reading it every day, but I definitely can. And now we get on to the law of reflection, which is learning to pause so that your growth can catch up with you. And I actually think this is a perfect time of year for us to cover this law. So let's just go back again, right? The law of intentionality. You have to be intentional about your personal growth. It's not going to just happen to you. So if you want to go from here to here in your life and you want to keep leveling up, you have to be intentional about that. You have to decide on a plan. You have to decide that you're going to do something about that. It's not just going to fall on your head and happen. The law of awareness is you have to know yourself to grow yourself. So you have to know what you want to do, what you want to make happen, what areas you want to grow in. You have to know where you're going in order to make a plan to go there, right? If I was going to build an addition on my house, I have to have some kind of a plan. I got to have a blueprint for that. So I'm always suggesting that you guys are making a blueprint for your life. So this law of reflection, I'm going to spin this a little bit into my own thing, and I'm going to ask you to get your notebook, or even get a new notebook if you've been using one already, because we're now approaching 2023. And I would like you to start working in that notebook this week on your blueprint for your life for 2023. What is your growth plan going to look like in 2023? What is your manifestation list look like for 2023? So for those of you that aren't familiar with Coffee Chat, what we're doing is we're using John Maxwell's book as a base, and we will use a bunch of books as a base as we go forward into 2023. And then I will put my spin on them for you. So we're not just rotely following someone else's material here. We're using someone else's material so that I can kind of dig in and teach on different levels. So grab a notebook and label it my blueprint for 2023. And I would like you to do several things in there. Given that you need to be intentional about your growth, that you need to know yourself to grow yourself, and that you need to believe that you have value and that you are valuable in order to add value to anyone else. And now, given the law of reflection, the fourth law, learning to pause allows growth to catch up with you. So in this week that's designed for pause, this is a great time for you to start constructing your blueprint for 2023. And the things that will go in there are things like, what do I want to leave behind from 2022? What do I want to acknowledge from 2022? Tracy, is there I think there's a link to the workbook, either Field Guide to Changing the Game or the Wonderworks workbook. There is a free downloadable workbook, I believe, on our site. And there's lots of good questions in there for the end of the year and the beginning of the new year. So you could literally print out that workbook and then put these questions into your notebook and start working on them. Susan's asking me, what is the name of the book? The book that we are working with right now is called The 15 Invaluable Laws of Growth. It is a John Maxwell book. I do not sell it. It is available on Amazon.com. So you can purchase a copy. The workbook that I'm talking about is a free downloadable on our site, which Tracy, I think, is going to drop the link in the comments. So if you're watching this later on, look for the link in the comments that will link you over to the free downloadable workbook. There are some good end of the year questions in there. No, Trace, not that one. It's actually one of the workbooks. You might have to scroll down in all the free downloadables. It is actually a full workbook, and Drew put it up as a free downloadable. Things to look at as we end the year, you guys. What am I grateful for in 2022? What was the biggest lesson I learned? What do I want to leave behind? What do I want to have happen in 2023? These are all great questions for the Law of Reflection Week. It's really a time to take a pause and think about where you've been, where you want to go, where you are now, what do you need to do to get there, what have you learned. One of the questions that I always ask myself at the end of the year is, what is the most valuable thing that I learned this year? What was my most valuable lesson? That's, I think, always a biggie. Also look at, what was your biggest blessing? What are the things that you're most grateful for? What are the things you want most to change? If you could have anything that you wanted for 2023, what would that look like? If you were truly designing the life that you always wanted and you were writing that out, what does that look like? What does that look like for your job? What does that look like for your relationships? What does that look like for where you want to live? What does that look like for what you want to learn? What does that look like for what you want to study? Your life doesn't happen to you by accident. Like in that first law of John Maxwell's, the law of intentionality, life happens to you by your design. It's only when we're not designing that we're at effect of it, right? If we're not actively at cause, we are at effect of what's happening. We have the opportunity to transform things in every moment. That is our opportunity, because we can transform this. We can transform our mind in an instant. The Course in Miracles calls it the holy instant. You can transform whatever you're thinking in your head just like that, just because you say so. And that's the opportunity that you have with your whole life. If you don't like where you are or what's happening or the way things are, you have this law of reflection. Is a great time to reflect. Reflect on what has happened, all of what you've been, all of what you've done. And it's a perfect time to do that. Thanksgiving is over. We're in the push till Christmas, and then it's the new year. December is a great time for being grateful, reflecting, and deciding on what you want to have happen next. You get to choose your life. You get to choose how you respond. And how you respond brings the next thing. So if you're constantly responding if you're constantly reacting, you are just bringing yourself more reactivity. If you are thoughtfully responding and practicing that holy instant and changing your mind, shifting the way you're looking at things as they're coming to you, you will then shift what is coming to you. What attracts itself to you based on what goes on in your head. Whether people can hear the conversations or not. Whatever you're thinking inside your head about your life and about yourself is in fact what you are attracting to you. So if you want to change that, you have to reflect on that, see what's going on in there, and then make an active push to change that. So this law of reflection, taking a pause, law number 4 in John Maxwell's book, The 15 Invaluable Laws of Growth, is a great time to do just that. Reflect. And then start planning, right? Start actively being a force of good for your future. Start actively planning out your future. And I know everyone writes goals, everybody's on a big push for goals for the beginning of the year. John Maxwell, and I agree with him on this, is more encourages people to go for a growth mindset, which I like better, because growth is never ending. When you make a goal, it's like when you get to the goal, then that's over and you have to make a new goal. When your goal is growth and the things that you have planned, are a plan for growth and to keep growing, then you never stop growing. And you can change that plan at any time, right? It's you making the plan. So it's not like you're writing it in cement and it can never, be anything else. You can literally actively make a plan for your growth, and then you could change it tomorrow if you wanted to, and you could change it the next day if you wanted to, because it's your plan. It's your plan. You can change it up any way you want. So I encourage you this week to go back if you haven't watched 1, 2, and 3, the 3 laws, and then take what's in there, the meat that's in there, and dig in to a notebook and a plan, your blueprint for 2023. That, I feel like, could be a full, notebook that you're actively working with all year long. And you start out in there by writing out, and you don't need some fancy planner. You could, but you don't need it. You literally could do this yourself with a spiral bound notebook or a nice journal or whatever you want to use. The questions that you ask yourself are important. And John Maxwell covers this, by the way. He's got some great questions in this chapter. Questions that will help you, pause and reflect. We also have some great questions in the free downloadable workbook that's on the site, on the coffeechatshow.com. It was the end of year workbook from a few years ago, but it's still up there, and it still has great questions in it. Although the reference to the year will be incorrect because it's old, the questions don't change. What worked this year? What didn't work this year? What do I want to change? What do I want to leave behind? What is my growth plan? What do I want to manifest for the year to come? What do I need to forgive? What do I want to work on? What do I want to change? What do you want your life to be? That's really the question. What do you want your life to be? If I said to you, your life could be anything that you want it to be, I don't care how old you are, whether you're 20 right now or 30 or 40 or 54 like me, or you're 60 or you're 70, you have from right now going forward, what do you want your life to be? What do you want to get out of it? What do you want your life to be? That requires a plan on your part. Otherwise, it's just going to happen to you, and then you're going to be at effect of it. When you're planning and writing and looking forward into the future, then you are directing. You are directing your life versus your life just happening to you. Somebody just said this is how we do our feedback reviews with staff. This is how I do reviews with Delta Hire and feedback sessions. What worked and what didn't work. And we always start with what worked. What worked, what didn't work. And even in my coaching of leaders and my work with executive teams, what's working, what's not working. It takes all the drama out of it. What worked, what didn't work. It's very simple. There's no story. There doesn't need to be a big emotional hula, blah, blah, blah. What worked, what didn't work, what's working, what's not working. What requires change? What requires a new habit? What requires us to do something different? What objective do we have that requires a new plan in order for us to get there? So that is what I'm encouraging you all to look at this week. I encourage you to take the reference to the law of reflection and apply it to building a blueprint for your life for 2023. If you were going to build an addition onto your house, you would put a lot of time, effort, and capital into that addition to make sure that every detail of your plan was correct. That the plan that the builder and the architect were working from, you would want to make sure that everything in there was on point. The plan for your life ought to be equally as detailed. and take equal time from the planner, which would be you. If you spend 15 minutes on planning all of 2023, you know, that's not a lot of time. You have a real opportunity here to take these next weeks as we ease into the end of the year, and rather than be a ball of stress and reactivity about how much money you have or don't have, or whose gifts you need to buy or don't buy, or whose family you have to visit or not visit, or what stress is upon you for work or isn't, whatever. All of that stuff could be present, but you don't have to embroil yourself in that. Here's the thing. When something occurs in your life, you have a choice. You can either have it hook you, or you can simply observe it and have a response. You have that power. There's a lot of emotional nonsense that happens at the end of the year, right? A lot of, just a lot for people. It's, you know, the holidays can be a trigger point. It brings up all the old stuff. It's lots of people like are, you know, if they had a breakup or they had a divorce, it brings up all that stuff. And then if you have kids, it brings up all that stuff. Here's the thing. It doesn't have to rain on your parade. You choose that. You choose it. You literally could have exes and this and that, and all this stuff could be going on over here, and you could choose to just keep your peace. You can choose to be in joy. You can choose to not get hooked. And you can choose in every moment to be grateful. That is your choice. That is your choice. You get to choose the plan for your life for 2023. You get to choose the plan for your life for today, for tomorrow, for next week. Nobody's doing that to you. You're doing that. You're doing that. You get to choose. So I have to ask you, with John Maxwell giving us law number 4, the law of reflection, what are you going to choose? What do you want? What do you want for yourself for today? What do you want for yourself for tomorrow? What do you want for yourself for 2023? It's not just going to fall on your head. If you're overweight and you're pissed off about it, get your ass into the gym. If you're in a job and you don't like it, then figure out how to get out of that job. If you want to start a business and you're waiting for the right time, I have news. There's no right time. The right time is right now. Just start. Just start. Just make a plan. Just set some intentions about what you want to see happen, and then things can start happening. What is coming to you is coming to you based on what's going on in your head. And if all that's going on in your head is you feeling sorry for yourself and crying and lamenting about what didn't work in your life, then I have news. That's all you're going to get. You're going to get more of that. Is that what you want for 2023? Because I'm pretty sure that isn't what you want for 2023. The only person that can change what's happening to you is you. After we get off this video, run into the bathroom and look in the mirror, and who you see in there, that's the person that has the opportunity to change your life. That person is the one. That's your savior. Not some guy, not some girl, not some job, not some bank account. The only person that can save you is you. So if you want a different life than what you have right now, you better get busy, get a notebook, start reflecting on what has worked and what has not worked, and start actively planning. Make a plan. Even if you have to change that plan tomorrow or the next day, the point is that you're being intentional about it and you're planning for your future, and then the future just doesn't fall on your head and happen to you. It is actually something that you're directing by your intention in the matter. We judge things around here by how we intend them to turn out. We never judge anything by the way that it looks in the moment, because at any given moment it can look like a big hot mess, right? That's not how we judge things. We judge on how we want it to turn out. You have everything to do with what's happening to you. Everything. Everything. So if you are sad and effed up because it's the holidays and Fred left you, or Mary left you, or Susie brought someone to your house that you didn't like, or I don't know, Harry didn't buy you a birthday present, or Beatrice didn't send you a card, I have news. Knock it off. Knock it off. Get busy planning the life that you want. Get busy taking control over your own future. Stop being at effect of the people that are around you. If you are at effect of the things that are around you, you will be a miserable honkus for the rest of your life. That's just the truth. You right there have everything to do with how it turns out. So if you don't like the way that it's turning out, get a notebook, get busy, get a pen, and start writing down what you want to see happen in your life. There is nobody that's going to change it except for you. Remember in The Wizard of Oz, Dorothy had the red shoes the whole time she had the power? That's you. You already have the red shoes. I don't care if you're a man or a woman. You have the shoes. It already turns out, but it only turns out if you get busy making up how you want to have it happen. So that is my challenge to you. With this point of John Maxwell's of the law of reflection, get a notebook, write on it in big letters, my blueprint for 2023, and get busy writing things in there. Nobody else is going to fix this except for you. That's both the good news and the bad news. Because you're either going to do the work, lose the weight, get to the gym, get out of the relationship you don't like, get out of the job you don't like, change the bank account balance, start your own business, whatever it is, you're either going to do it or you're going to suffer because you didn't do it. The choice is yours. I can't fix you. Nobody can fix you. Only you can fix you. So I suggest that you get busy. You have a lot of work to do. All right. That's my challenge for this week. Get busy planning your future. Get busy reflecting on what has worked, what has not worked, and where you want to go. You have a lot of work to do. So I'm going to leave you to it. We're going to shut the podcast down. Visit us at thecoffeechatshow.com. I am obviously a mess this morning, but I'm still here. I still showed up. And you have work to do. So let's get busy. I'm going to do this along with you. By the way, if you want to keep working into the material with us, you can ask to join the Warrior Mindset Facebook group. And that's where we're dropping stuff all week long, and we continue to circle around the material. So join that, ask to join that Facebook group if you want. You do need to answer the questions, and you do need to respect the rules of the group. And if you don't do that, then we will not admit you. So if you tried to join the group and you didn't get accepted, it's because you did not answer the questions and you did not agree to accept the confidentiality and respect the group. Okay? So I will see you guys. I'm gonna go get some more Kleenex, and I'll see you next week.